If you're doing everything right, eating clean, moving your body, watching your portions, maybe tracking every single thing you eat, and the scale is still like stuck or moving up regardless, I need you to hear something before you actually blame yourself for one more day. You are not doing it wrong, okay? You are not lazy. It's not about willpower. There is a real physical reason why your body is holding on to this weight. And I bet no one's ever explained it to you. So that's what we're going to do today. Let me tell you what I hear from women week after week after week in my practice and see if you recognize yourself. They say, I'm eating better than I have in years, or I'm biking, I'm walking, I'm going to the gym, and nothing is moving. The weight is not going away. And this has even been the biggest thing in my life that I'm focused and concentrated on. And I really don't understand. I hear this day in and day out. In fact, I just got out of a call with a client this evening where she was basically saying the same thing. She was saying, hey, I was doing all the things. I was working out. I was white knuckling it with my diet. And yet, like she said, I lost some weight. And then all of a sudden it all started coming back. And then I was having cravings. And now I'm just hungry all the time. And you guys, there is a reason for this. You know, one woman in my practice, she had been dieting on and off since she was 16 years old. Think about that, right? Decades at war with her own body. And then every time that she lost some weight, it came back. And it brought friends with it, right? A little extra pounds to boot when it came back. And she kept saying that she was doing everything she had been told that was healthy to do. And yet the number was just climbing. And she kept asking like everyone around her, like, how is this even possible? And what does everyone tell her to do? Oh, they say portion control, right? They say eat less, move more, try the shot, right? And if she hasn't, she was already doing those things. She was eating less, she was moving more, and it didn't make a difference. And the harder that she would try every time, the worse it would get. And if that's you, worn out from trying every single rule, and getting punished for it, then you're actually in the right space. So I want to tell you why I care so much about this as I do, because in my practice over the last 20 years, I see women who are coming in and they have been so frustrated, so upset that it begins to take a toll, not just on their self-esteem, but also the way they show up in the world, right? They stop going to social gatherings. They stop participating with family and friends. They stop doing the things that they actually love doing because they're so self-conscious. They're so frustrated. Some of them even give up and now they're like, whatever, it doesn't work. And now they're like binge eating and then feeling guilty about it on the other end. And I see this cycle over and over and over again. And I got to tell you, like, social media doesn't make anything better, but I see women day in and day out falling out of love with themselves because of what's showing up in their body. And that's why I refuse to let another woman, believe that she's the problem when the truth is it's really not about that. And I want to show you what I mean. I want to show you what's really going on because I think that this is important. Your body has one job that outranks every other job, right? And that job is to keep you alive. It ranks out everything else. And it's always running like this quiet calculation in the background. Are we safe right now? Are we in danger? And when it decides that you're in danger, it flips into survival mode. Survival mode is old, right? It is innately ingrained within you and it's really, really smart. And so survival mode says, hold on to everything. So to a body that believes that hard times are coming, to a body that doesn't feel safe, body fat actually isn't the enemy. It's savings. Okay. Body fat becomes stored energy. It's like it's an insurance policy. It's an insurance against famine. And if you think about it, there's no wise system okay, that will spend its savings in the middle of an emergency. And neither will your body. So what it does is it grips onto and holds the weight, and it slows everything down that it would normally just burn right through. So no matter how clean your plate is, okay, from your body's point of view, when it's in that survival mode, it is the worst possible time to give up any of its stored reserves. And so you're not fighting your appetite. You're actually fighting your body's survival programming. And that beats willpower every single time. So when I was discussing with a client today is, you know, there's this popular thing, right? Intermittent fasting. You've probably heard it. Well, for some women, especially women in their 40s, 50s, 60s, menopausal, perimenopausal, high stress. A lot of our clients, they're entrepreneurs, they're business owners, they've got a lot of stress. So they're like burning the candles at two different ends. So if you're not eating in the morning and you're going off to the gym, you're having a really hard workout, and then you're coming home and, oh, well, I'm home. It's like 8 o'clock, but I'm intermittent fasting. I'm not eating till 11. You're doing your body a tremendous disservice. Why? Because number one, your body doesn't have the fuel it needs to provide for that workout. So right there, the minute you start working out without having fueled your body properly, your cortisol is up and your body says, whoa, I am not safe. So now you're not getting the best workout in, but your body's also storing and holding onto those reserves. And then you finish your workout and your body's like, I need something to feel safe. Like, feed me now. And you're like, oh, I'm intermittent fasting. It's like another 2-3 hours before you're going to eat. Well, your body is in a space now where it doesn't have what it needs. And so it doesn't feel safe. So it hangs on no matter how much you're not eating, no matter how much you're exercising. And that was a cycle that this woman was stuck on. And what happens, you guys, so some of our clients will be like, I do that. And then all of a sudden in the afternoon, the evening, I've got all this food noise and I start binging in the evening. Well, if your body hasn't been properly fueled, guess what? It's sending those signals like, oh my gosh, I got to fill these reserves because I'm not safe. And this safety thing is really, really important for your body. Your body needs a rhythm. It needs to know that it's going to be fueled in the morning. It'll be fueled after your workout. It needs to have that predictable schedule. And when it doesn't, things start to go astray. So here's the part I want you to really sit with, because it's at the heart of how I work. It's what I call the body-led method. And when your body runs in survival mode, it's got to keep borrowing, and it's going to keep going, and it's got to keep borrowing, and it borrows energy from tomorrow to get you through today. And what I say that is called is the survival tax. And every day in survival, your body, what it does is it quietly puts the bill on a credit card, right? So it's on this credit card, your survival tax on the credit card. And for a while, like, you don't feel it. You don't notice it. You ever do that with your credit cards? You push through, you cope, you manage, but that bill, it doesn't vanish. It compounds. So when you run that survival tax for long enough and you rack up what I call body debt, okay, and the weight then just won't move. The exhaustion comes with it usually, the brain fog. These aren't separate problems. They're actually, it's the interest on that debt coming due. And that number on the scale, it isn't because of your willpower. It's actually the receipt for that tax. And what happens is, a lot of women, they'll end up now they're having all these cravings, and they're binging in the evening, or they're eating things that they wouldn't normally eat. But a lot of that is coming from being out of those rhythms and being out of sync, because again, it's coming due. Your body does what it needs to do to keep you alive. And this is the cruel twist. It's the exact opposite of what everyone tells you to do. When the weight won't move, what's the advice? Yeah, eat less, exercise more, restrict harder, more and more and more and more. And I tell my clients, wait a second, maybe you're under eating, because under eating does not move the dial on your weight loss, believe it or not. But a body that's in survival, every one of those things is like, it's another threat. So if you're eating less, if you're exercising more, if you're restricting more, you're not giving your body what it needs, your body's like, oh, I'm in trouble. So you cut your food further and you're confirming to your body like, okay, there's a famine. So your body's like, all right, let's hold tighter. And then we grind ourselves down, maybe with more exercise. All right, nothing's happening. I'm just going to go exercise more and more and more. But if you're exercising on an empty tank and you've already told your body that the danger is, you're like, hey, it's worse. Brace harder. So now you're holding on even more. So you push, your body digs in, you push harder, it digs harder, and you end up heavier, you end up more drained, and you end up more certain that something is broken in you, right? Except there's nothing that's like broken inside of you. You've just been trying to force your body into a space where now it's begging you for safety. And force, honestly, is the one thing that it reads as danger. So let me be honest about where this heads if nothing changes, because I think you already feel it. You know, the survival tax, it doesn't hold steady. It begins to climb, right? The body debt keeps compounding. And it's the woman who tells me that she feels like she's aging faster than she should. That's that survival tax taking place, right? The one who says that she feels like an old woman at 55. She doesn't feel like herself again. The one who's watching, she's watching her life start to pass by her while she's just waiting to feel like herself again. And it's not fear mongering, you guys. That's just what happens when you have an unpaid bill, and over time, it just keeps getting worse. And here's the other side. And why I do this, the day that your body comes out of survival, the whole account starts to reset. It's that simple. So women are stunned when weight that wouldn't move from years starts to shift. Not because they found the perfect diet, but because their body finally felt safe enough to stop holding on to it. It's funny. I was looking at a comment, a post or something like that on Facebook today, and somebody was asking a question about GLP-1s and what's your advice. And I was looking at one of the comments, and a woman in there had commented, hey, I've tried everything. I've restricted my calories down to 1,000, 1,200 a day, and nothing. I've exercised the heck out of myself, and the weight wasn't moving until I went on this GLP-1. And I'm thinking to myself, what? You probably know already because you've been listening to me. I'm thinking to myself like, oh my gosh, your body was stuck in survival mode. And all you're doing with that GLP-1 now is forcing it to go further into survival mode. So rather than actually addressing the underlying root cause and allowing her body to be all safe, giving her body the nutrients that it needs, working on her nervous system, getting the body to a space where it's like, oh, I don't have to hold on anymore. She's now pushing her body. And she doesn't know this. And no, I didn't go and comment and start a tiff on social media. But that's what's happening. And it's so unfortunate because like the thing with a lot of the shots and things like that with the, Ozempic and this, that, and the other is that they have consequences. They work because they're calming your food noise by slowing down your gastric emptying, except that's not the way your body was designed. Your gastric emptying should be at a proper speed. And if it's not, there's consequences to that. right? I had a client who started working with us several years ago, and she's been away for a while, and she recently came back, and she scheduled an appointment with me, and she said, "You know what? The doctor said that I've got this gastritis," and she said, "And by the way, I have been taking Ozempic," and I'm like, "Oh no!" But those two coincided because we're not supposed to slow down the gastric emptying in our body. But what happens is a lot of women feel like, okay, I've got all this noise. I really want food. If I slow down the gastric emptying, I'm no longer hungry. And so I don't have to worry about eating. Well, that again further compounds the problem. So at the end of the day, when we come off these medications, we're now back in this crazy rebound cycle. I mean, you can go check out some of my other videos on YouTube where I talk about this, because it is a big thing that people need to be aware of when they're making decisions about their health and whether or not they want to do that. First and foremost, my thought is always, how do we work along with the body so that the body can actually heal? So if our body's holding on to weight, it's doing so for a reason. And we have to begin to ask ourselves why. And for a lot of women, it comes down to this survival tax. Okay. So let me say the thing I most want you to walk away with. Okay. And that is that weight was never a character flaw. There's never proof that you're weak and that you failed. That was your body just protecting you the way that it knows how to. And I see this so many times where women begin to shame themselves because they're like trying to do the best thing that they can to lose weight, but it's not working out the way that they want it to. They're restricting harder, they're working out more, and they become disappointed and they start to take that out on themselves, and their image of themselves begin to change. So I want you to remember that the moment you stop fighting your body and you actually start leading with it, it's our body-led method, right? Working with the body instead of being at war with it, all that good food, that effort to exercise and all that, it actually starts to have an impact. You see, those things were never the problem. It was just the approach of pushing your body, forcing your body, restricting, not having your body feel safe. That was actually at the underlying root cause. So getting your body out of survival is the whole foundation of what I call the body-led method. And it's where everything else finally starts working. And if you want to start giving your body that signal today, I have a 21-day nervous system calibration challenge. It's a great place to start. I send you 2 text messages a day where you can stop at any point. You take 30 seconds, do whatever the text message is, and you're going to start to come back home to your body. And that's really important. You do it for 3 weeks, right? They're doable, easy resets that you get during the day. So it's how you start to pay down that survival tax. It's free, you guys. And there is a link for it. You can go to go.thisisdrz.com/nervous system. And if you've spent years like being told to just eat less and try harder, please send this to a woman who needs to hear this, because we've got to start breaking this cycle. We got to start respecting our bodies. It is possible for your body to release weight and to do so naturally and in alignment with your body without having to put other things into your body. So this is Dr. D. Be sure to follow along, check out our other videos, and certainly subscribe to the channel.